Greetings, weary travelers, fellow story gremlins. We are back. Welcome to, or welcome back to the Reaction Sleepover. This is the series where we get cozy and we react to stuff. We only have one story today. However, I may be as small as a gremlin, so I might as well just roll with it, but this story is not. We have a nice big juicy one about school. And the lovely Fearless Cloud 01 submitted a story. Thank you very much. And the title is My College's 5th and 6th Semester. So far. So far, so ominous. So, be sure to grab your cozies and snackies. I might sneeze. Nope. And let's head on into it. Oh, right, and be sure to submit any stories to comments below, in the subreddit, in the Google form, or email me. Plenty of ways you could submit a story. So, this is my first story here. Welcome! But especially recently, my college life's been such a big fat mess that it almost seems surreal. My big fat Greek college experience, which actually was a major plot. This will be a couple of things that have happened since the 5th semester of my college. I don't know why that sounds so weird to me. 5th semester. Because I guess some people count like semester by semester, but I always went years because mine was a typical like 4-year college. Someone's breathing heavy like, this is my 36th semester. Story of PhD students. I'm about halfway through the 6th, so let's see where that goes. The main reason I've included the last semester is that some of the stuff started and then split over to my current semester. Spilling over. Like orange juice that has sat out for too long. College can feel that way sometimes. There have been stuff before that as well, but 5 and 6 so far have been the worst. Delicious. Spill your pain to me, spill the orange juice. So, let's see. 5th semester started relatively normally. Now, I'm doing engineering and computer science. That does not sound like a walk in the park. For a bit of background, and a relatively fancy-looking emphasis on looking college. It sure looks fancy, but ooh, it's decrepit in here. And no, I'm not in the US. And while I'd love to diss my college and professors to the depths of hell, yeah, we have a few of those. I'd rather not mention names and locations. Still, back to the story. Some class here. I respect it. So yeah, classes started normally when we were suddenly told to either do a certain course or publish a research paper in our first class of the day. Really? One of those? We all know that first week is syllabus week. To be fair, you're not in America. I don't know what it's like in other places, but syllabus week. You do not mess with the holy time of syllabus week. We'd get grades after showing the proof of either one. I was like, fine. I was kind of interested in research work anyway. You're like, am I in a PhD setting? Am I in the wrong place? Imagine that. Imagine you're in like a PhD program and you're not supposed to be there. How would that even happen? That would be amazing. Then the next class rolls around, and this is what was called our program elective. Basically electives for our minor specialization. In this class, my name wasn't on the attendance list. You're a ghost. Literally, the professor gets spooked every time he saw you. You're like, they're not on the list. Who are they? Are they a student from my past? From who I tortured? By giving assignments on the first day? Yes. As you deserve for desecrating the holy week of syllabus. But that didn't seem to be an issue as our student portal was getting a revamp and I figured that it might have caused some issues in the back end. That makes sense. The professor was a nice guy and just entered my name manually in his attendance register. He writes shakily, "Not being haunted today." Also, we were once again told to write a research paper. Not publish, but write. Publish? Mainly as a practice, but it'd be graded. Even better, he allowed us to just submit a project if writing a paper was too much for us. That's pretty nice. After we told him of our previous class, I remember in one of my classes, at the end of the semester, you were supposed to do a presentation with like 4 or 5 other people. And I remember when I was trying to get everyone set up and like no one would do anything unless I reached out to them. It was so annoying. And that's when COVID happened. So we were like, okay, not the project anymore, but everyone write like a paper together. And then eventually they were like, just write a paper. I was so happy. First of all, not have to do a presentation. And then I got to just do it on my own anyway. Introverts rejoice! Later on, our professor changed due to some scheduling issues, and even this project was dropped. Changed? Like a different professor? Was he that spooked by you? That's my headcanon. Meanwhile, my name was once again not on the attendance list. And like a few others in the class, was entered manually in the new guy's register. That's so weird. You're all ghosts. Then the next class rolls around, and who would have guessed it? Please publish a research paper. Were the instructions given to us, and we were told that it has to be separate from our previous research have to be separate from our previous research papers. Amazing. I can hear the exhaustion. I miss the vibe of college and like being able to hang out, go do a bunch of things. I do not miss having to do the work. A similar thing happened in the next class too. Either publish a research paper or write a case study. My goodness. So much research. They just want you to do their work for them. It's a ruse. But this time we protested and our professor decided to just make us do the case study. Because 3 research paper- I can't say research today. What's wrong with me? Because 3 research papers in 3 to 4 months were way too much. For context, my older brother took 5 years of work to publish 2 papers, so you can imagine how bad our situation was. Oh, and publishing papers cost way too much. Can take years, and if you're caught for plagiarism or something, can lead to some career-ending repercussions. That was something that was genuinely so frustrating that, like, when professors, they know you have other classes, and yet they still, like, pile on the work. And it's like, sure, you got work to do. But like, keep in mind that they have other classes to do. Later on, after a lot of complaining and arguments, it was announced that most of the papers were dropped. Aside from one subject where no alternatives were given, we had to publish something. But eventually, by the end of the semester, so few people actually wrote anything that we got free marks. I mean, that would work, wouldn't it? One of my friends told me that his professor was literally begging students to submit something, but no one wanted to. Yeah, there's a power if no one does anything. I can't fail you all. I submitted only the opening part of the thing and I got pretty good grades. Heck, I told my professor to his face that I wasn't going to publish anything after he caught me plagiarizing data. Plagiarizing, that's a no-no, naughty. Still, I got surprisingly pretty decent grades even for the things I never wrote. Naughty. We also had this professor who had really bad English, like the sort I had to mention proofread and quality check before I could process it every time he spoke. Oh, that's rough. But he was a bit of a narcissist. Oh, his subject was pretty difficult and he made a point of regularly drilling that into us. Oh, the fact that it was difficult? Ugh, gotta love that. It's like, okay, we get it. Just teach us, will you? He spends more time talking about how difficult it is rather than teaching you. According to him, if we didn't study what he taught in class, we'd fail. I did fail by 3 marks, but after begging around a lot, they increased it and allowed me to pass. I'll come back to that in a bit. Now, about the student portal revamp I mentioned earlier, it was a train wreck. A literal train wreck. Our administration hired a startup that showed them all sorts of flowery, high-tech dreams and charged them an exorbitant sum for the trash they gave. Oh, great. Like, millions were spent and the product was barely functional. There was a front end with such poor security that our Microsoft Office college emails, using which we were to log in, were the only real security. Yikes. Man, I don't know if I've ever heard of an entire college getting scammed. It's just 2 dudes in a basement just going, yes, they'll never be able to take attendance. That's their only goal. Someone just having a really strangely specific vendetta. Maybe against a professor who was really strict about it. Very begrudged student. Ex-student. I was given the option to log in using my personal Microsoft account, only to be stopped, not by the website, but by Microsoft themselves. It's a Men in Black situation. They get out that thing that makes you forget all your memories, and they just whisper, "You shall not pass." Like a crossover of Men in Black and Lord of the Rings. Our portal website had no measure to prevent that. It was only stopped because of the default security policy of Microsoft. Also, we were told that the attendance system was revamped like anything. We'd get QR codes that were sharing proof or something. Huh. So that we need to attend class to get attendance instead of just clicking a picture and forwarding that all to our friends. That turned out amazing. Well, one thing worked. One of my friends in a whole other course managed to get attendance for my classes on the second occasion it was tested. It was even showing up on his dashboard. 2 attendances marked for class he was never even supposed to attend in the first place. There's the ghost! It's because of you that they keep thinking they're haunted. One of my professors later told me that he discovered that he somehow had access to edit the personal details of his students. I'm sorry? That feels illegal. It feels uncomfortable for some reason. Naturally, our pro-president was fired once this mess was discovered, as he was the one who had allowed all that money to be wasted on this project and our old portal was brought back. So they brought back the old one anyway. Oh, yikes. Again, never heard of an entire college being scammed, essentially. Now comes the actual fun part. Ooh! About 4 days before my finals began, I remember it was around 4 to 4:30 on a Friday when I got a call from a random number. I pick it up thinking that it's spam. Can you imagine spam just coming out of your phone? The meat. Free spam! Then the biggest bomb of the semester drops on poor little me. The guy who called me was a professor, and he called out my name and asked me why I never attended any of his classes or taken any exams/tests. I replied, informing him that I had taken almost all classes in the subject and had taken every exam. What? Where did he think you— what? But if you did, how— huh? Now I found one big fat blunder that occurred. Turns out 2 different departments offered the same course with different course codes. Oh my gosh. I attended one when I was enrolled for the other, and due to misunderstandings and whatnot, no one noticed. I knew it, you are a ghost. Heck, even when I contacted the professor of the classes I attended, he had no clue that I wasn't supposed to be in his class. Just business as usual, you know? Finally, it did get sorted out though, but I did have to run around a lot one day, that's typical college day, before that subject's paper to have my course changed. Oh man. I got a call in the morning that I was supposed to do all that, even though I had been told a few days prior that my professor would handle everything. I even had my first exam on that day. Imagine, I get up thinking about how I'll take my exams in a few hours when I find that if I don't do something today, I won't be able to take the next day's exam. Duh. You're like, I'm trying to do school here, let me. That was basically the mess of my 5th semester. Ugh, doesn't end. Now time for the mess in my 6th one. Because I'm not allowed to have rest. Also a common phrase by college students. First week. Started on Monday, like just right off the bat. A few days later, we got an email stating that we must fill in a form for our retests, which were scheduled for the very next week. The deadline was Friday, and we didn't even have our results. On Thursday, we were told that results were to be declared on Tuesday next week, aka the day our retests start. I was flabbergasted. Also, it turned out that the whole wrong course mess I had last semester affected stuff again. You are cursed. I had been enrolled in 2 subjects for our program elective instead of 1. I had to also sort out my results mess at the same time as sorting out the subject assignment mess. Yay. I ended up calling and begging my old professors to just tell me whether I passed or not. Can I just move on with my life? One of the conversations literally went, Professor, bud, it's too late to have your grades changed. The results come out next week. Me, sir, that's the issue. The results come out next week. I need to know if I passed or failed today. Otherwise, I won't be able to fill out the retest form. Just help me, you madman. This is a really weird situation that I shouldn't be in. It's weird too, because it seems like he thought you were talking about like changing your grade when you were asking if you passed or not. Like, sir, you're not in the right wavelength here. Thankfully, by the end of it, I passed in everything. Awesome. Normally, this wouldn't be an issue as our failed subjects are shown to us when we sign up for retests, but because of the portal issues last semester, no, that feature wasn't present. I am in pain for you. Instead, we were given a Google form asking us to manually fill in the details. Make the payment on the college website and fill in the payment details too. So no one had any clue which subjects to fill unless they knew their past grades. Ugh, and if every professor's like, sorry, like, gosh. As for that double subject assignment due, I got a call one day from some department in our college literally asking which subject I wanted to drop. So they literally brute forced that one. So all this time you still had the 2 assignments? Oh, it hurts. It hurts. And finally, we come to the latest issue, which literally got solved the day I'm writing this. Ooh, fresh off the press.
This just keeps getting better and better.
We were supposed to do a project under a mentor this semester. Now I'm doing a project for an online internship. I took prior permission from them to use it for college and they allowed it. I talked to a couple of my professors and they even told me that I shouldn't have any issues using it for the college project. Great. Although I have a feeling you're gonna run into some problem.
Correct!
What absurdity is about to happen now? So I contacted a couple of my old/new professors and one of my old ones readily agreed to become my mentor. Good. Even without listening to what project I had. Huh? Shouldn't you know what you're getting yourself into, sir? That's dangerous behavior. I submitted the required documentation, clearly stating everywhere possible that the project I was doing was for a company. You're like, this is a project to take over the world. And he's like, cool. Still, I found no trouble regarding this, and I figured that what my other professors told me earlier was true, that it was fine to use the internship project for the college project. Are you about to get double standards when they tell you one thing and then they turn around and go, no, you can't do that? I hope not. Even my mentor was really cooperative and helpful every time we had a conversation. Now, just last Friday, I went to meet him and mentioned how I got delayed because of issues at the company I was working for. He suddenly started questioning me, asking me for proof that I actually was interning and wasn't making it up. That's a pretty intense accusation just right off the bat. Have you been burned by this before, sir? Are you alright? I've watched Suits recently. It's about a show where a guy like totally doesn't like go to Harvard or take the bar or anything, and he gets away with being a lawyer for a long time. Does he think something similar is happening here? Did he binge Suits and then just has been on the lookout ever since? I didn't have anything on hand since all communications were either physical or through phone calls. You're just standing there like, I'm sorry, what? I promise, this is real. I'm not making this up. Meanwhile, he was adamant that I was lying to him. Okay, this man must have been burned before by someone pretending for some reason. Like, dude, you signed on to be their mentor. Did you not look into the company they were working with? Sir, are you all right? I tried showing him the company website, but he declared that if I didn't show him my offer letter and my company didn't email him, he'd fail me. Whoa! Bucko. This ain't the Wild West. Like, cool your jets down a little bit, hey? My goodness, that is such an extreme response. It's like, sure, yes, provide the proof, but like, why go straight to like, I'm gonna fail you unless you show me the proof? My goodness. It's like, give me a minute. Good grief. I had my mom click a picture of the offer letter at home and send it to me a few hours later. I tried contacting him about it, but he instead declared that he had no interest in what my mother and I cooked up. Excuse me? What is this buffoonery? Does he have a grudge against you? This is such unhinged behavior. How did he even get the idea that you were like faking it this whole time? What? That's just so out of nowhere. Was it as out of nowhere for you as it as it is for me right now? I'm just so flabbergasted. That is so rude. So unnecessary. What the heck? And wanted an email from my company only before cutting the phone. He literally cuts the phone. He has to buy phones every 5 minutes because he does this to everybody. Later on, my boss emailed him regarding this and even provided him with the documentation he demanded. Your boss is like, I'm sorry. Is he okay? Like, the poor boss too. He's just like, I don't know why this man is threatening to like fight me or something. Like, this is your mentor? Now, I thought this mess was over now that I'd given him as official of a proof as possible of my internship. There's more, so I'm guessing not, because this man has major trust issues for some reason. But just this Wednesday, I ended up meeting him in the hallway in college, and this guy's like, yeah, I received the emails, but they honestly looked fake to me. What's the matter with you? What happened, man? What is the matter with him? You literally have provided proof. Your own boss gave the information to him. What? Buddy, what's going on? I didn't know what to do at this point. I didn't know what I could show him as proof that he'd actually believe in. I contacted my parents about it, who decided to take matters into their own hands. Oh dear. Here comes mom and dad with the smackdown. Seeing that my professor was just plain old harassing me at this point. Like, what in the world? So long story short, my parents contacted a couple of people in college and I ran around submitting a few applications and emails. Finally, earlier today, I got an email from the college stating that my mentor had changed. Hallelujah! This person clearly had some kind of grudge with you, and I'm so sorry you had to deal with that because that's freaking stupid. That's the kind of person that's like, if you are not mature enough to like actually be a mentor or like a teacher, professor, whatever, like don't do it. Like, my goodness. There are clearly a lot of people that like take jobs like that so they can have like power trips over people, and it's so stupid. And I'm so sorry you had to be a victim of that. That's so dumb. A mentor. My hair is caught on my microphone. A mentor should be a person that you can trust, that you can rely on, not this rapscallion. Also, we're supposed to do a 5 to 7 minute long presentation for the project right after our midterms get over, which by the way, starts on Monday and ends on the 20th. You got this! So when all of us were preparing to head home right after the exams were over, we got an email that we'd have to stay over for maybe 2 whole days extra just for a 5 to 7 minute presentation. Ew. Big lame. And that professor is big lame. It's like, I don't know what's going on in your life, man, but like, you cannot take it out on students. Like, go take a vacation. Figure out your stuff. Come on, man. If you're gonna be a teacher, act like it. Be a teacher. That's how it is so far. If something major happens later, I'll probably share stuff again, and we will be here to read it. Dude, I'm so sorry. Like, what the? That's so obnoxious. Like, him using his position of power to take advantage of you like that. Like, oh, the audacity. Thank you so much for submitting that story. Let this be a lesson to not let people take advantage of you. Like, Screw that. Especially people in positions of power. Like, if something's not right, like, stand up for yourself and go get support, all that good stuff. You don't deserve this tomfoolery. Well, thank you, Fearless Cloud 01, for submitting that story. Really appreciate that, and I really hope things go much better. I hope your mentor is much better. My goodness. Anyway, that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed this and maybe learned something. If you have any stories you'd like to share, email me, Google form, subreddit in the comments, whatever is easiest. I would love to hear any stories about school, funny, frustrating, all that good stuff. Anyway, I appreciate you guys very much. I hope you're doing well, but I hope this video has brightened your day at least a little bit. Go take care of yourselves and each other, do your best to be a good human, and I will see you in the next video. Bye! Can I finish? I'm literally at the end. Hi! I'm finishing my recording.